Hello Burbankers, and welcome to Burbank QuaranTEEN News, a collection of stories relating to our community, the challenges we're facing in these times, and the positive ways people are coming together to overcome them. My name is Taya Janu, and in this episode we'll be sharing some good news, as well as be talking to the owners of The Range Photography, Shane and Britt, to see how they have adapted to this pandemic. Media City Credit Union has been serving its members since 1963. This year, 3 deserving students won a $500 scholarship. Media City Credit Union was pleased to announce its 2020 Scholarship Award winners. Their goal is to award students for their academic achievements as well as for the things they participate in outside of school and the ways that they give back to their community. The 3 deserving students were each given $500 this year. Simone, Geneva, and Lauren are the 3 winners. Congratulations to them! We interviewed the owners of a business called The Range Photography. They have adapted to this pandemic and have given back to the community by taking free photos for families while social distancing.
Okay, and joining us right now is Shane and Britt from Range Photography. How are you guys doing today? Thanks for coming.
Good. Thanks for having us.
Okay, you're very welcome. So we have a few questions we'll be asking you today. So my first question is, why did you decide to offer this new service?
You're talking about the free sidewalk photos, I'm assuming. So, obviously, we were all quarantined because of this pretty horrific pandemic that's happened. And our neighborhood is full of lots of families and stuff. And we spend a lot of time out in our front yard. It was real pretty at the time as well. And the temperature was perfect. And we got this new puppy who's you might hear growling here in a minute. And my wife had this idea because we kept seeing these families walking by, and lots of families that we hadn't met. We've been in this particular area for about 2.5, almost 3 years, and we started meeting new people. And then my wife had this great idea to put a homemade sign with a cardboard box that said "Free Sidewalk Photos," quarantine sidewalk photos, for families and stuff. And so we put this sign up, and people started coming by and inquiring about it. Next thing you know, we're taking pictures of people with their mask on, and just fun stuff with families that hadn't been together in a while. Maybe their kids were off to college. Now the kids are back. They couldn't go to school. And so this brilliant young lady came up with that idea, and we got to meet some really great people in the process.
I spent a lot of time painting a sign.
Old school.
Yeah. Using our son's paint from his
Euro history project
yes.
at Burroughs. Yeah.
Oh.
How has COVID-19 affected how you conduct your business?
You want to answer that, or you?
Well, it's affected it in a lot of ways because we were not allowed to work at all. So we were shut down completely when not considered an essential worker. So we weren't allowed to work at all the entire time. And since there's 2 of us running our business, and that is solely what we do, there was no work going on in this house. So that was the other reason for the sidewalk photos, so that we could sit there and, continue to bring joy to people and have them, do something fun and see, the result of being a family and stuff like that, in a time where we weren't allowed to work. So.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much. So my next question is, I wanted to know, how have customers responded to the changes that have occurred throughout the time?
So currently, the response has been surprisingly, overwhelmingly grateful, is the way I would describe how we feel about it, because we're getting business again. I think during this time, especially us, we know this as well, during this time of what you could describe as, I think, a lot of families have been a little worried and somewhat in panic. Stop it! No,
sorry,
no, doggy,
get down.
So there's Hank again. Hank, no. But what we've noticed is we're still getting clients, but a lot of it is family stuff, family oriented stuff.
A lot of family stuff.
Where normally we'd be shooting, actors and doing stuff for editorial pieces. and with a few family things here and there, but man, it's been a lot of family stuff because families feel so grateful to be healthy when they're healthy. And my heart goes out to families that, that have been affected by COVID and within their household. I mean, that the thing is no joke. The virus is no joke, and we know that.
You know what? Another thing that we've noticed is that I think a lot of people have had a lot of time to reflect on what they really want when everything is said and done, when they're allowed to go back into the world and kind of do things again. I think they kind of feel like almost like they have a second chance to go for their dreams. So we've seen a lot of people reach out for the first time that like used to be actors or used to do acting that want to go back into the business. Then we've seen a lot of people who are revamping their business and need headshots for this, that, and the other. We've seen a lot of maternity shoots. We've seen a lot of people kind of go in a very positive direction towards like things that you think that maybe they weren't really pursuing or thinking about before COVID hit, but now they've had a lot of time to think about it. So we've seen a lot of people with like inspiration to, do something different with their lives that maybe they weren't thinking about doing before.
Okay, our last question is, what advice would you give to people who have to adapt quickly to new realities?
Okay, that's a good question. The advice I would give, and I know you'd probably back me up, is through our own experience with this. And my advice would be to just remember where you come from. Remember that you're very blessed to have your family together. And do not take one moment for granted. Not one moment. Take advantage of every second you have, because your families are spending a lot more time together. Husband and wives are spending more time together, which some of them are definitely not used to that. We're used to it because we work together every day. We love spending time together. We're a rare breed out there. We know that, but
we choose to spend time together all the time.
And and the time we've had with our son, Jake, has been awesome too.
Yes.
He's a 16-and-a-half-year-old who hasn't been able to get out there and really socialize like he used to. And so he's been, forced to socialize with his parents, and we've enjoyed that a lot. He goes through a lot of food. I wish we had farm animals and vegetables growing in our yard, so because he's expensive. But other than that, man, the advice I would give, because this is a new reality, but I think it's a temporary reality. I think people need to know that they don't need to panic. Our world has been through much more than this. Much more, and we're going to go through more. The key is to not panic. Live your life the best you can within the legal guidelines. Stay positive. Just continue to use a lot of common sense and treat this virus very seriously. Treat it like as if you were flying on a plane and you knew that 50 people on that plane had the flu. What would you do? You would make sure you sanitize. You make sure you mask up or whatever. So just use common sense. That's it. That's what I would say, and just enjoy your family.
But I really honestly think that the positivity that Shane and I bring to our household, because we try to do that every single day, whether there's a pandemic or not. It's something that we actually work for it every single day to stay positive and not let negativity come into our house. So we really focus on what can we do. If we have to change things up and we have to adapt, how can we do this in a positive way? How can we do this without letting this affect us in a negative way? We don't want to get down on ourselves. We don't want to get down on what's going on out there. We want to bring positivity back into, our family and our friends and our clients and our people. So that for us, if you're a business at all and you've been in business at all, you have to adapt. You have to adapt all the time. So it doesn't matter what's going on out in the world. There's always that time that comes where you're going to have to change things up.
Right. And don't let that adaptivity scare you and make you think, oh my gosh, this is the new normal. I've heard that term. We've heard that term out there, and we're not teaching our son that. Mm-hmm. This is not the new normal. We're not going to be wearing masks for the rest of our lives. This is not going to happen. it's one of those things where like, hey, listen, we're just going to use some common sense for a little while, and it will pass, and we will move on, and we'll get back to the way we were. Everything's going to be just fine. And
normal is relative, so it's kind of what is your normal.
Yeah, no one's normal. We're all weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys still do these photos, like curbside photos? Are you guys still doing it till today, or?
No, we're back in business. We fortunately, with our business, and my wife does most of the shooting. I do a lot of lighting on the business side of it, and then shoot sometimes. But fortunately, we have a setup where, you know, we have lots of different types of lenses, which I'm sure you guys are very aware of. And so we can shoot from afar, from a distance. And that's what we've been doing. We're back in business and getting some business. We shoot mostly outdoor. In fact, that's all we really do, unless, you know, we get called by a studio to do something. But, you know, a lot of those things are still shut down. But most of the stuff, we've taken advantage of some of our lovely parks here in Burbank. We got a lot of great nature here in Burbank, and then you know, if the beaches, and if the beaches are open, we shoot there. But we've been very fortunate. We're
shooting at the beach tomorrow.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, God willing. Hopefully nothing shuts down.
This will be the second time it's been rescheduled. So, and it's for a 15-year-old girl. So we hope that it's going to work out, because I know she's going to be disappointed if it's not.
That's true. Yeah, it has been rescheduled a couple times because of COVID. You know. So yeah, I think we're going to be good tomorrow. We're going tomorrow.
We're going to go.
All right. Thank you very much, Shane and Britt, for taking the time to join us today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
If you need anything, appreciate you.
We're here.
Thank you so much again, Britt and Shane, for all of your hard work. That's it for this episode of Burbank QuaranTEEN News. Stay tuned for more episodes like this as we continue to bring you news stories and interviews from people working hard to make this community stronger and safer during these challenging times. Once again, my name is Taya Gianu, and this was Burbank QuaranTEEN News.